There we go. Right. Right, what have we got? Let's just put this out. We need a bit of morning wake up. Let's have a look what we've got. Right. Not much going on at the moment. I'm just waiting for this. See how much this short. Could come down nicely now. Only problem is where we're going to come down to. Got a large move up, so. That was where. Four-hour gap. So we've just transitioned bearish. So what we want to look for today is, depending on how deep this goes, is the 1 hour's higher time frame is currently bullish. So if we can see a short transition, obviously this is a big run up on the 4 hour. There's the 4 hour candles. So a bit of a correction. If we can then see transition back bullish, could be a nice run. I'm gonna wait for London. Thought I'd get on early and prep. So overall higher time frames are favouring bearish. The last 4 hour candle opened here. You can see we stayed below the open. And then when we opened our first 4 hour, the last 4 hour, we've had our first hour. Again, we failed to take the previous hour high in the first 4 hours. And then we've taken the low, meaning more likely for us to have a 4 hour bearish candle, which obviously we've started down on. So this low, yeah, there's only an 87% probability that's our low for this 4 hours. So we can expect more bearish action. The only thing that I'm looking at is our higher time frame is bullish, where we've transitioned. So if we can get a shallow transition in terms of a small correction and then go back bullish, that's where I'd be looking for better longs today. You can see the liquidity we've created above here is 93%. So there's a very high probability today that we come back and take this high. Which obviously Asia's high. So if we can come further down, have that transition, this would be a great target. And then we've got yesterday's high. Well, not quite yesterday's high, but 77% probability this will go as well. And for our lows, we had this low created yesterday. There's only a 55% probability that one will go. And a 40% probability this low will go. So, we are definitely looking bearish now. But long term, if we can see that transition back bullish, that's where we're going. Let's have a look at gold. Where is it? Okay. So we have a bullish hour on gold. We've just taken the high of the first hour of the 4 hour, meaning we're more likely to see this push back up. We had a very strong bearish hour, came down and took the liquidity below. Dynamic TP coming above. Everything's just switched bullish. 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. Although the 4 hour is in between, but I would expect that if we can see this hour close above the open, that gives us a good 2 hour to come back up. So where could we go? I think this is a reasonable level for targeting this box. What have we got left? We've got 15 minutes left of this hour, so let's push this hour through. So we had an inside bar. Taking the high of that inside bar anyway. I do like a nice push up at the back bit of this hour. Yeah, so we're thinking gold's going to push up, coming up to that zero line. We're looking at this level here. That's where we think gold will probably get to. Got an open VIB on the hourly. Failed to close below this low. If we're going to go more bullish, we want to see price on an hour close above here. I think so. Let's have a little look. Yeah, it's quite a way. Obviously got this whole fair value gap. We tried to transition bullish here, failed, and went bearish. What we will look for is any longs that we take while we're still bearish is scalping. Not looking to hold trades. Gold pushing up as expected, crossing that zero line. Again, this is our level where we think gold will push to. So here, see here where we're correcting, right? So we take the short. We haven't taken the long yet. So confirmations for long. Obviously EMAs have crossed, so that's bullish. We had a bullish initial hour. Haven't yet released and shown an update that's coming, but I would have been looking for this to hold, this box. And we could have even taken it off of this one. Here. See, that's acted as resistance. So we've got a new feature coming, which is our support and resistance levels. Okay, so we've reached our target. quicker than what I wanted. And this is a common reaction when crossing over the zero line, right? That's where we know we get that momentum. And where you can see this correction on the lower time frame here, while we remain bullish, the correction's above the zero line. And there where we correct, we could have been long at this point here. The reason why I'm targeting this is just a potential area of resistance, right? And we could narrow that down to that, just that box if we wanted, but I was just using the entire box as an easy target, but we could narrow it down to that. But I think you'd be better just taking the whole box. So if we were long off of here, this is where we'd want to be taking some profit. This is the open VIB, which fits in line actually with our refined, if we were going to go for a refined target. So alternatively, yeah, this would have been, it's a shame we didn't get a pullback at this point here. We just broke out and went, kind of did it inside this area of resistance, but could have gone above. Could have taken it from here. All the algos have gone bullish, right? So we're seeing all of the higher time frames at line. So bullish signals, obviously we get a buy signal, our box is bullish, EMA's turn, dynamic TP is bullish, we're coming up to the zero line, we know when we cross the zero line we get high movement. All of the algos have flipped to a sequence 1 corrective bearish, meaning we're expecting all a bullish run. We've got an open VIB. These are our levels of resistance, right? So we've come up, rejected, rejected, come down, come back up again, failed to come down, gone back bullish, right? Broke out. And entry could have been around any of these, really. This one here. And then we're targeting that level. So we're just getting up to the VIB now. Morning, Peter. I've got the sun. That was a cracking trade on gold. Let's have a look at NAS quickly, because obviously we will look at NAS being that we're wanting it to transition back bullish. However, obviously it was bearish currently. We got that open VIB below on the 4 hour. And we've left the VIB above open as well. Now, while we're below, obviously this is just bearish. We're not looking at anything other than bearish. So this large candle that pushed down, we've done nothing again but trade inside of it. So we've literally been inside that. Although it looks like we're building up for another breakdown, but we'll see. So where could we be targeting on the breakdown? I'd be looking at this level here. We're nearly there now anyway. That's why we've not looked to take any trade on in Q. 4 hours have been bearish. We transition bearish on dynamic TP. Failed to come above. And you can see here, this would have been just after, before we got on. When we're coming above, the lower time frames are changing, meaning that obviously this is not going to come above and it's going to stay below. So nice correction. And then there you could have got your tap at your 50% and continue on down, although the algos aren't particularly very good. So we're not, gold is much stronger at present. There you go. So we've tapped our refined target for this breakout trade. We've got 4 more minutes left of this hour. So what can we expect? Let's have a look. So I'd really like to put on the new indicators. They're not finished, but even just some of the stuff that we've got is great. So again, look at this level on gold to close above, and that'll give us an hourly structure. This will be our low. That was our last hourly high. So it'll be interesting to see whether we come and break above this. We do have the highest probability it was that low in yesterday, but let's see. See, we're now in that VIB. So our 2 hour has gone. First hour, our 4 hour candle, sorry. We took the low and have then taken the high. So we can expect in the next 2 hours, we still have good probability of another high going, right? And these were the last 4 hour candles all the way down. Sorry, all the way up, all the way down. So are we going to get a break? Interesting to see. Or are we going to chop in between these two areas here? So we want to see it break above this level. And then we could use that. Nice push through. So our target was hit anyway. Gold's been it's been really good. Nice clean trade here as we cross the 0 line, right? Bearish box, everything's bearish, 50%. Bush, continue on down. See you later. Even here, liquidity below. We come back up, tap, close, quick trade. Once that liquidity's been taken, that's where we'd then be a little bit more cautious, where we might get a return. Now, that was the last liquidity level, and it's also the hourly high. So if we're going to remain taking liquidity below, then we won't expect that to go. Now, what we did do was create a liquidity level here, right? So we came down. It didn't take much. So if you think this was from here to here, was the 2 liquidity levels. We came up and with a little bit of correction, put in a liquidity level, meaning that we were starting to fail momentum to the bearish side. So we've taken that liquidity now, and while we're taking highs, we're expecting highs to continue, but we just need to be careful of this. The previous 4 hour. So we're still inside the previous 4 hour. So we haven't taken any low or higher the previous 4 hour. The the last 4 hour took the high and the low of the previous 4 hour. Yeah, just about. Okay, we got our new hour. So the 1 hour is close to flipping to bullish. We are seeing that correction starting now here. You can see how accurate that target level was in being an area where price would react from. This is will be a new indicator for max algo coming out. Border background. Okay. So if we're going to carry on bullish, we're starting to see the weakening, right, of trend AI. So if we're going to carry on bullish, what we want to see is a little bit of a correction. Price come back above this level, correct back into it, and then we can potentially look for a trade and continuation out of it. But let's see. We've had that momentum move, right, above the open. Come above, correct, get that nice push. These are the trades that I love to take. This is what max algo was, kind of the whole concept started from, right? Was these momentum trades. And then we added probability and everything else to it to give us more confidence. But the core of it is this dynamic TP where we're coming above, and when we come above, we get those momentums. Now, the reason why this dynamic TP is different is, as you can see, the momentum comes from this move. Here is too early, so this is too early. Gives us an indication this is where the momentum starts, right? From this move. So that's why we have this dynamic TP. This can give us an early indication of what can happen. So we can see here when we're below the 0 line, likelihood of us carrying on going above, you can see here this correction and where it crosses, and we're also above, can give you that idea that yes, this is going to continue on up through and we'll get that move. Okay, so currently if we're going to have a bullish hour, this would be our wick. So we're below the open. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a correction, really. We need to see the hour close above this level. You can see currently dynamic TP it's still weak, but it is bullish, which is great. So the 1 hour is below, but the 2 and 3 hour are a bullish higher time frame. So this will be an interesting transition. So we've gone sort of bearish, bullish, bearish, bearish. But even when we've gone bearish, you can see it's been very corrective. So I feel like if this switches back bullish again, we could see a strong push to the upside today. Let's see. Here we go. So potentially now we're flipping and having our hourly wick. We want to see us come above this level. Still think we'll probably see a little bit more messing around, but let's see. Or are we just going to go push all the way through? So we've got this fair value gap now. So we've completely disrespected. So if we're looking at this from an inverse fair value gap, this hour here, right, is an inverse fair value gap, which an hourly candle has closed above, completely disrespecting it. So from a bullish point of view, people would see that as a very bullish, strong move. And then we would be looking for these highs and these highs for our liquidity. So if we're following those sort of concepts, which I know a bit about or understanding of, this is where we're looking, right? So this could be a very, very bullish 4 hour. High probability of our high being in the last hour. So we've still got 2 hours left of this 4 hour candle. Where this is the yellow lines represent the open of the 4 hour. So there's the 4 hour open. And you can see right now, here is our 4 hour open. So that target's obviously done from this trade. See if we can get a tap back into this area. Right to the middle of that fair value gap. I think this is going to be a weak. Let's have a look. See the momentum here. I don't think it's going to be that affected though. Let's see. With us coming back above, we're only 8 minutes in. So like statistically it is high probability this is our low. We haven't got above 70%, but we can expect that this could be our low for the hour already, right? Ideally I'd like a tap back into this area. So if we think about this as a pullback here, a break above, right? We obviously have a Vib open, which we've come back in, so we might literally just march on and not give us much opportunity to get in. Let's see. With this, we had that clear area for price to target. Right now, we're looking over the next 2 hours, and I would say here, this level here could be your kind of target on that hourly candle or the 4 hour highs or these bodies above. Just quickly see what NQ's doing. Okay. So NQ's come down to that open Vib on the 4 hour, which is what I said that we would look potentially where we could target was this. However, we are looking more bearish. Let's see. We've already taken the low of the previous hour. Right. Here's our low of the previous hour. That was the last 4 hour. So we took the low of the 4 hour. Didn't quite return to the open. We are expecting this to be bearish, right? So we're not looking for anything bullish on NQ until this 4 hours closed. CL's coming above. That's been a one big move down on CL. Very similar, really. Right now, I'll stick with gold. Nice tap back in. Looking like possibly going to fall through. Let's see. So with our 4 hour, right, we've gone put in a high. Our high. So segment 1 is 30 minutes. So segment 2. So first 2 segments of the first hour. So we can go halfway through. So 1, 2, 3. Segment 4. So yeah, we've still got high probability, 73%. Let's have a look on the 4 hour, how things have been on the results table. So what we're looking at now is the probabilities, how they've played out recently. Just to make sure that we're aligning. Right, let's set it to 8 segments. So we're a 4 hour candle, 8 segments, be every half an hour, right? So bullish, we can see in the last 30 minutes, when's this from? Okay, so it's using a lot of data. We'll have to go up time frames. So because we're on the 1 minute, we've only got 61 4 hour candles, but of the last 61, you can see that 36% has been in the last 30 minutes. So we've had 4, which is this. We've just put in our high in segment 5. You can see there's only 3% probability of the last bullish 4 hour candles that actually that was the high. And we're holding this level now, so this potentially could have been our tap back in and continuation. But let's wait until we get on 20 minutes up. Look for a little bit more confirmation. We are bullish nicely, right? 89% probability of having a bullish hour. There'd be no problem in taking a trade, but not yet for me. So yeah, so our 4 hour is looking pretty good. And we've got what, 4 hour candles, 6 in a day. So that's the last 10 days. So of the last 10 days, 4 hour bullish candles have been, of the last 61 bullish candles, so the last 10 days of bullish candles, 36%. So we've still got high probability that this is not our high. We can look to take a trade. So we've already taken the high of the previous hour, so that gives us probability of a bullish hour. Our algo is high probability. Dynamic TP is bullish. trend AI's transitioned and transitioning, should I say. We've still got a little bit more time for this hour to finish, which is great. I want to see this high. I want to see the high go yet. So even though this is correcting, it's staying very bullish. We've still got time, remember. So we've got one more after this hour. We've got one more hour, but we've got segments 7 and 8. Segments 7 and 8, which is high probability for our high. We've still got plenty of time. So our 4 hour is into 8 segments. So half an hour segments. So this is our 4 hour candle. So we can see it's 2 hours of this 4 hour candle, which means we've had 4 segments. Our high is still currently in segment 5. And of the last 61 bullish 4 hour candles, very, very low probability that that's going to be our high. So more likely that we will see bullishness. Okay, 1 minute left. We get our additional confluence. So we want to see it close above 50% of this range that we've got, like this one. And this one. And not that one. So EMAs are bullish. Trend AI's transition bullish. Dynamic TP is bullish and above. Algo is bullish. The 2 and the 3 hour are bullish. The 4 hour is bullish. Although we have taken the previous 4 hour wicked below. So I'm not necessarily expecting us to stay in to take this high, more around this area. So let's add another area of resistance on. So this can be an area where we reject from. As can this. That one's more relevant. Yeah, you see there where we're just tapping in between it. So I would say if we're going to go long, let's make that our target. Not pushing too high, not going crazy. So yeah, we've closed above the open, which is we've closed above the 50%, meaning we have high probability of taking this high, 74% roughly. And it favors a bullish hour. So we could look to see if we can get a tap back. Yeah, I think this hour might just be a little bit more messy. Let's see. I mean, we could take it now. So we could you can either look for the 50%, taking the high as 1R. But if we're going to go a little bit longer, could have taken that now. 1R here. Yeah. So you want to see it break through this level. Nice strong push through. Want to see the lower time frame MACD change. So once we take this high, we'll get a buy signal as well, meaning this is much more likely to be our low, adding more probability to the fire. Come on. There we go. So what I want to see is push through this level. Once we get back above, once we get above it, I don't want to see us coming below it. So we can reduce our stop or we can go to break even. We need to see this complete the transition through. So we've still got plenty of, hey Pascal. Still got plenty of reason for price to go up. Statistically, the 4 hour, the 1 hour. Just want to see it take this level. And then we can hold that level. And this is our next area resistance. We have got liquidity above, but I'm not necessarily pushing for that because the previous 4 hour took the high and the low. Even though we are transitioning nicely on the higher time frame, but we can still mess about a bit before the higher time frame trend kicks in. This looks like potentially it's a little bit of a weak push, but let's see. So 1R would put us about there. If we want to take profit. So for me, once I'm if I'm going for 1R, once I'm closer to 1R than I am to break even, so about where we are now, I'll be taking risk off and going break even. Now we're above that level. I will do that now anyway. So put stop to break even. so you can see. Yeah, so 1R still a little higher. And again, this was our breakout trade here. I didn't leave it on the chart, apologies. And that was our target. I think 1R's just been tapped. Oh, do you know what? I'll mark 1R on so we can see. Oh, there we go. It's definitely been tapped now. So that would have been, you know, obviously you don't have to run it all the way to that level. We've already had a decent run before. So taking a partial now or even taking profit off is all good. Sorry, Pascal. These are, I use Max Algo premium indicators. I'll show you. So nice push up. So this is our 4-hour stats. So this is showing what Max Algo shows is broken it into 8 segments, right? So we take our 4-hour candles. So there's the yellow line there represents the open of the 4-hour, as does that one. And then what this is showing us is if we broke an hour into a 4-hour into 8 segments, they would be, each segment would be half an hour. So bullish 4-hour candles, it's showing us where the highs and lows are by those segments. So we can see this is likely to be a bullish 4-hour due to the statistics, us being above the open, taking the previous highs, the algo. So we've hit target, good trade. So it's showing here that the likelihood for us is the high is going to be in segment 6 or segment 8. We currently had a high there in segment 5, so there was only a 3% probability. We're still in segment 5 now, right? So there is still more likely that this high goes because we've not yet gone past the half an hour point. So again, it's very low probability for this bullish 4-hour that is our high in segment 5. So we've hit our target. I'll just put in the probability of that high. So this is like 3.28%. Low probability. So this is the last minute, last half an hour. If I can I bring it up? Let's have a look. So it's on what? Do. That's going to make me sign in. See if it's indexed. If not, I'll get the link and I'll show you. Here we go. So this is the indicator kit. So you get all of the indicators. So I'll show you that. So it's a lifetime license. Every one of them is a lifetime license. Not sure why there's 7 payments of that one when we can do 6 payments. I think that's incorrect. So you can either pay one off, or you can spread the payment over 3 months or 6 months. And once that's done, that's it. You get lifetime license, don't pay anymore, and any new updates on the indicators are all included. Okay, so we've just taken that high in the new hour, which puts us in the 24% probability of that being our high, right? So that's now more likely. So 2 good trades. We had 3R, 1.6R. We were looking at NQ, weren't we? I think that for me, obviously, the opportunity on gold, we can look for this segment, right? When we get close to segment 8, it's going to be another hour, right? So we want to see this hour finish, get the first half an hour of the next hour, and then we can look for that potential push and look for that trade. So let's have a look at CL. So CL, yeah, flipping bullish, where NQ is probably more bearish. We'll check NQ in a second. So we can see when we flipped, this came above the 0 line, giving us, we were quite far away, so wasn't ready yet anyway. But again, there was some good trades to be had on CL this morning. Last hour, there was a good sell signal. Here where we correct, and then we come under the 0 line here, we could have expected that continuation, which is good. Obviously price is just, there's no volume during that point. Starting to get that volume now. So the 4 hour we're below. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for CL, because this could be a reversal 4 hour candle, at which point then we would expect some much higher price. We can see we've got high probability liquidity here. There's an 80% probability and a 90% probability. Those levels will go this today on CL. That's one to look for probably after this 4 hour. NQ's coming up as well. So I said on NQ, I want to see this transition back bullish, because our higher time frame is bullish, right? So if NQ can transition back bullish, then, in fact, I might set an alert for that. Right. Have I got alerts on it? I'm not sure. What is going on? Are we in Aikanashi? Normal candles? What is going on? That's normal candles. It's normal candles. It's normal candles. It's normal candles. Condition. Trend AI. Let's have a week. Just want it once. So if we can then start weakening on this, I am liking NQ for some longs today, but let's see. Way off from there, yeah, we want to see the dynamic TP come up to that 0 line and see those transitions. And again, we probably want to see the 4-hour finish before we look for any of that anyway. Let's go back to gold. What a run on gold. So liquidity's taken. We've got the next levels above. This is a beautiful crossover, and you can see how we're getting that continuation, right? Boom, boom. And these are the trades that I absolutely love. So we've had 3, 4, 5R call today on the trade on the live stream. So you can see how price is reacting to that level, right? So we come up, reject, 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 and then we come above, and then here we push away. So where's our next area? Okay, so we've taken our 1-hour high, which is great as well. Okay, so it's quite high up. This is our next level of area. We can look price to react in. Okay, that's where we've rejected from. So we haven't tested, so we could come back to this level and this level here, to be fair. See how we've just come straight through. So we could correct back into here and then potentially look for that continuation where we get that final push in the last 4 hour. Good morning. Thanks, Peter. It's a beautiful morning. So I'm going to be looking for that 4-hour push in the last 30 minutes of what we're on now. So we got another hour until we get to segment 8. And then we can look for that push. We'll see whether it wants to leave that high, whether it wants to complete it. We'll transition once this hour's finished. We'll see that transition complete. Ah, for fuck's sake, why is that on there? You can be the 4-hour. See, our 4-hour is corrective bearish, right? Sequence 1. And that's where we've had that bearish move down. We get a nice sequence 1 and a big push out of it. Great morning, everything aligning bullish. See you in a bit, Peter. Enjoy the sun. Well, hopefully it's sunny where you are. Sun's just passed. I was getting beamed at this morning right in the face. We've had a busy hour, right? It's been a good time to come on. 2 cracking trades. Feeling good. Put myself outside and go and have a walk after this stream. See a bit of the sunshine. Before I crack on with some work. Not sure where tea is. So like I said, I think we're going to just see some retests of these levels. And then potentially ready for another push. I'd rather leave these levels here to have a reason for price to come sweep than if we go and take it now. If it's a strong push with a wick, then yeah, not sure. Let's have a look at the actual candles now. So let me just check this out. Yeah, so it's this candle high, right? If we think of that as a range. So yeah, if we can tap back here, even a wick to here. And if it aligns within our high probability zone. So I'll mark it on the chart when we expect that high to go, right? So right here. Okay, so that's where we are looking. Look how much time we've got, right? That potentially we can see price mess around. Now, might not do that. It doesn't. It's just a good probability of it happening. So we'll see if it aligns to take it. Thank you for sunshine. I'm gonna stick some music on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me set the Bluetooth speaker. Hang on. I think we're just going to go and whip it up now. At which point, obviously, then we'll be looking at this level to hold. I don't really want to see that trade, though. I'd rather see that trade later in line with this 4-hour formation. So we've still got a 70% probability of another high, although that'll massively drop off in 15 minutes. We'll lose 25% of that, giving us 45%. You see how powerful these levels are, right? Reject, reject, reject. Break above. Reject. Come above, new hour starts. Create new level. Hold that level. Stuck in between these two. Once we broke back above this new level, that's where we had confidence to take that trade, as well as other confluences aligning. This being our 4-hour return. And you'd probably find a level. Let's see. You want me? I got to show me. It's well above. Somebody come down. Corrections happening. If you're looking for devotion. So obviously there's the simple ways to trade, right? But then there's the I like to call it the reason. So we've got our entry system, but then we want a reason for price to go in our directions. And it's using statistics for the higher time frame on a candle formation that gives us that. And then finding areas of liquidity, which are high probability, and areas of resistance, which is all built in. Let's have a look at, while we're waiting for that correct, right? So let me just get rid of higher time frame candles. So this is our zone, right? This is our 36% zone. So we're wanting price start correcting a bit. We haven't retested this level or this level. So maybe we can have a little bit of a pullback, and then we're looking for that. This is where we have a 36% probability of a new high. What I don't want to see is price putting that in, as this more likely then might just be our wick, where we create the 4-hour wick. Together. No weakness yet on Trend AI. I've set an alert. I'm waiting for that to happen. CL coming above that 0 line. 4-hour is bearish though, right? So we've closed below. We've taken the low. So we're not expecting the 4-hour to close above this level, which is why I've said for CL and NQ we want to see this 4 hour close before we're looking for longs. If we're going to carry on bearish, more likely now the next hour we might see some more down action. So let's just have a think about it from a bearish candle, right? Here's our wick. Here's our body. Right now, this is a wick. So is it a reversal wick? Possibly. If you think about we closed around here, it would be a doji candle with a big wick. Maybe a nice reversal for a push long if we can see it transition. Right now we are still bearish. Higher time frames are bullish though on CL. You can see bullish, bullish, bullish. A 4 hours still not changed though. Just a little early. Same thing with NQ. Although the 4 hour has started. No, still bearish. Patience with NQ and CL. Gold was the one this morning. We got our close above here. Hang on, I'm getting rid of them as well. So we got our close above. It's the level we were looking for the hourly to close above. This hour looks like it'll do it, right? Transition will be complete when this hour's over. It's not a payday transition though. Nope. And I need a haircut. Look at this mop. Too much work and too many kids. Committed to doing these lives now. We've got the system set back up and I will be here. If it means I don't get a haircut, you guys come first. Do, 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 do. Struggling to come down. Just holding. I don't want to see us break these highs before our high probability. So you can see once this half an hour's over, so we've got 5 more minutes. There's a 9% probability of another high in segment 7. Black hair. Let's have a bit of patience. We waited for those trades. Let's wait for this trade. Maybe we can make it 3 for 3 today. I mean, realistically, you know, 250 a trade if you trade in a 50k account. So we could have done well over $1,000 today on those trades. Looks like it's going to push. See how we've just kept that level. Failed to come down. we're waiting, what should we have a look at? Euro USD? Oh, Euro's been a messy morning. Nice trade off the hourly though, right? Come back to the 50% liquidity above. EMAs. Taking the high of the 4 hour. That was a good trade. So Euro USD could have had a great trade there. Seen it all morning so far. It's been a good morning. Okay, ooh, dynamic TP on the higher time frame starting to weaken. See whether this pushes below the 0 line. We obviously wanted this bit of correction. Ooh. So we come back to this level. Remember, we didn't retest this level when we broke out, nor this level. So this is what we were looking for in this first little bit. What's going on here? Let's get the first candle to form. We just got one more zone to look for, and then we'll be done today. So we're just looking for this 4 hour trade. So we've come out this 4 hour nicely. All the higher time frames changed. Dynamic TP was coming up to the 0 line. We can see how we held that, corrected. We had resistance levels above, which is a 4 hour VIB as well. So nice target off of that. And then because the 4 hour was bearish, we didn't want to push targets too high. So we took the open, the last 4 hour, which we took. And then this is the 4 hour data. So the last 10 days of bullish candles, 61 candles, 36% have been the high in the last segment 8. So broke it into 8 segments, half an hour segments. So we've got a high in segment 6, so 24%. So it's our second highest probable area. So potentially the one other trade that we could have is in this last segment, which is here. So we have a 36% probability that we have a high. The high is in this zone. So when we've broke up, we didn't quite take that liquidity, which I wanted to see that be left. And when we've broke through, we haven't come back to these areas, which we're now testing. So we just want to see some. It's just right now, this probably could be too deep. Maybe this level holding, breaking back above, and then we use that as our entry area. If we get a bullish 20 minutes and then tap for a new high. Otherwise, we'll just take the 2 trades that we've had on the live today.
You had 2 in the first hour?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, it's been good.
Good morning.
Has been a good morning, actually. Could have had good trades all round, really. Euros had a good trade just now in the hour. Good lazy boy. NQ and CL this hour and last hour. Well, I think it was last hour. There was a bit of a short, but it was more Asia. Some great trades in Asia. Sun's back.
Thank God.
I think there's going to be quite a bit of news today.
Well, the only thing I say is you're right to be ending shortly in that taking any more trades, because as soon as that orange man wakes up, it's all going to go to hell.
Yeah.
Especially today, it's tariff day, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll be very careful if you're going to be trading NQ later.
You do not trade NQ later. Don't do it.
Even CL though, because obviously I'd imagine that the
anything
it will affect the oil considerably to do with
well,
the
you wouldn't touch in euro this afternoon,
around.
would you?
No, as well as euro, yeah, exactly.
Tariffs are going to be on euro in the UK.
And the pound, so affect them, yeah. Bring back free speech.
I think it's the roller coaster ride is going to strap in this afternoon.
Got some 90s club classics.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Okay, so we're flipping this hour, so potentially this could be our wick. So we need to see this level, the yellow level I've drawn on, is our resistance for this hour. So if we're going to go bullish, we want to see us flip that, hold it, and take the high.
So it didn't push through the 0 line either. It's
Just corrected.
weak.
I think it will though. Let's see. I mean, we can use that as our, like, if it's going to go back bullish again, we'll want to see that come back above. We've still got 25 minutes. We've lost probability on the algo though. But both the 4 hour and the 2 hour are high probability. And what did the 4 hour just do then? Saw the 4 hour flip. So already quite a deep we'll need to very quickly hit this level and come back up. It'd be a big wick on the hourly if that's so. But we'll see the MACD come back above the 0 line to give us our higher time frame. But we're in no way, shape or form looking for longs like we did here, right? These were super clean. Everything was all aligned. And there is good probability that this is our high for this 4 hour. It's in our second highest segment, 24%. There is still a 45% probability of a new high, but we want to see price show that and come around before we even look. Two clean trades though.
Beautiful.
0 drawdown on both of them. This was my favourite. So we started to transition. All of the time frames flipped bullish. And then trend AI was bullish. and then we saw the lower time frame above and failing to go below, and then flip bullish, which gave us our entry, stop below, and then that was our target, and it just ran straight to it because that was obviously our indication it was going to push dynamic TP over the 0 line, which is where we get our nice strong trends, and it just went poof. And then because we remained bullish, we took the high of the 4 hour, we were just because we took the high here, we had tons of confluences to continue on. Same thing again. Above EMA's bullish first 20 minutes. All the algos were bullish. Low probability. This was our high. I mean, it was like 3%. Just didn't want to push it too high just with the 4 hour. Oh, come above. Come on. Let's flip this hourly.
You don't want to keep doing that next to the mic.
Sorry. Rub it behind the ear.
It's all they're going to hear.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck.
Oh. Scrooge McDuck. So if we do take another trade, these will be our targets, or at least this high in our zone. Doo-doo. Can you see how in this hour, how this new resistance zone is acting as the area for price to reject from? And then when we break above, we can look for a tap back in and a take for that. And then we're holding, come below, come back above, inside this zone that we struggled with. I can't wait to have that indicator on there. Have you been working on it? Why you got a smiley face?
We've still got lots of work to do.
Yes, there is still tons to do.
But it's coming soon. I'm excited.
Yeah. We're starting to flip. Looks like the MACD's going to cross.
Just like I said.
Oh yeah, you said. We need to see it come back above the 0 line though, right? Shallow correction, like T said. Shallow correction, back above. We've still got a bit of gap here though, right? From here to here.
It needs to cross first.
So we need to see above, tap, trade. Just how big is our 4 hour candles going to be? So this is our 4 hour candles.
The 4 hours very bullish.
Yeah. You see how this level?
Yeah, but the algo is 95%.
Yeah. It's just that is the 4 hour high. There is a high probability high for us this. And then this is we've been inside this range.
What has gotten into you with the good music this morning? Your music is normally absolutely shocking. This is excellent.
This is what I used to...
No, it's not.
grew up on this.
You're like normally like the OC soundtrack or something.
Dawson's Creek. I knew you were going to go there. Beat you to it. I do not listen to Dawson's Creek before anybody thinks this is true. Put it out there now. It's on the internet.
Yeah. Nelson's Creek.
Oh look, I noticed something on the what? Got 7 payments of 140 and 6 payments of 140.
Yeah. Talk about it in a minute.
Oh, okay.
It's just because you don't know what you're talking about.
It's very true. It's very true.
So people can get their $19.
It's the $19 discount.
Yes.
What is?
So they can get.
So this one here.
Yeah. So they can get a month for $19. So they put the code in. Put the code in, and then.
Where's the code?
At the bottom. So it's
and the promo code. Okay.
19 in the promo code, and then they can get that first month for $19, and then they can try it out.
Right. Is there a way? Can we get a name for that? Is there a way to put anything in there? Description on it or something?
I'll have another look.
Yeah.
What has its limitations, unfortunately.
It does.
It's very good, but it does have its limitations.
Some lovely, really, really nice. See, there's one guy with massive heart.
One guy. One guy.
I think he was calling me fat. One massive guy. Failed to come above.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to get more down.
Oh.
So these are beautiful zones though. For a bearish hour, you can see how it's just holding it.
Yeah.
If we take this low, then we are not looking for this trade.
Nope.
If anything, you'd be looking for a short down into this area. So if you trade in support and resistance, then you could look that sort of trade down into here.
Well, that failure to cross there says everything. It's a weak attempt.
Yeah, we've come quite high up. We've had that strong move up. Anyway, until this comes back above the 0 line, we've got nothing. And until we break above this level, we've got nothing. This is a definite no trade. So as soon as this low's gone, we're out completely. We're not looking for any long. That's our... no longs. If we take that, so the 1 hour took this high, which was this liquidity, which when we spoke about targets, it was this high. So when we were targeting here, we were looking at this 1 hour high, and then these the potentials a little bit further, and you can see how then we've closed below. We've had 2 really strong bullish hours. And then here, obviously we've flipped this into an inverse fair value gap. So if you were looking for a higher time frame, inverse fair value gap entry is there. I'm not even going to keep it on the chart. But yeah. You can see this hour closed above. So completely disrespecting it. Giving also more bullish momentum, right? Making this trade even more likely. Come on. Still weakening in the bearish side. It's getting tense. 36% probability of a new high during this time. We've got, this is the last minute candle, and if it closes above the 50% of this zone, we're more likely to take the high, meaning we're more likely to have a bearish hour. This is interesting, because it's got to be close. Come on. Ooh. 25 seconds left. Oh. We're definitely getting a close above the 50%. Okay, so we're going to have initial bullish indication.
Yeah, bullish, you said bearish.
Sorry, above the 50%, so that's bullish.
Yeah.
So now this gives us high probability, 74% probability of taking this high. When we take this high, that gives us a 73% probability of a bullish hour, meaning we expect our high in this zone. It's coming together. MACD's coming above. Break above, retest in the trade, target the high. Let's go. Love this song.
I love this song as well.
I love this song.
This is when we were teenagers, though. This was.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So we're looking for this weakening a bearish trend, but we want to see it come back above. We can push this. Correction. Breakout, retest, new high. Come on. Rub my hands again.
Well, the breakout is good. If the breakout's coming, it's going to come just as you hit the zero line, which is exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah.
It's going to get some momentum. That's what you want.
Yeah, and I've got a couple of options with the trade, right? So we can take the low of the hour, or we can take the low here. Our target is either this high or these liquidities. We can obviously just go for a new high.
Well, don't be greedy. You've already had 2 wins.
Yeah, 1.29R. And then we could reduce risk. Turn around. So when this crosses over now, that zero line, so I've got 19 seconds, but once that blue line comes above, it means there is a higher probability of taking the orange line over as well. So it's a really good indication of that. We got our buy signal for the hour. Okay. So we have our 50% retracement, which we could look to take for our lazy boy.
Only problem with the 50% retracement is
It's quite far down.
It's coming at the same time as the cross of the 0 line. Now we're concerned it wouldn't return.
Yeah. Turn around. We didn't quite close above. Okay, so what we can use. So we're getting corrective now. Here. So if we then get corrective, bullish, we can jump in. Potentially. It's coming way a bit far down. So that's your 50% entry for lazy boy. But I don't like taking it with dynamic TP for lazy boy anyway, so it's not a trade I'd take for lazy boy. I want to see this come back. We've still got 6 more minutes.
That would be a nice rejection, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we can see this. Give us a strong candle. Then give us an entry. This is our level, obviously where we were rejecting from, which where you can see we've held that to the tick. Rejecting from it again. If momentum stays strong again, it's going to pull us over. We're not near correcting fully bullish yet anyway on the dynamic TP, so there's not, we can still expect some messing around. We've still got a bit of way to go, right? That's a nice bullish candle though. Got 8 seconds. Let's take that. We'll just look for a 1R trade on this. So we're expecting this is our low for this hour, and we're expecting the hourly is going to put in new highs, and there's a 36% probability the 4 hour takes this high. That's our trade. Coming back above the 0 line, taking the orange one above as well. Nice momentum. What I don't like is we've still got quite a way for this to flip bullish. Our owlies not giving us huge. Our 2 hours fine. Our 2 hours started there. I think let's just double check. Yeah. So this is our 2 hour high, right? So statistically, it's very likely that we take this in a bullish 2 hour. So we've got a lot of confluences for that high to go. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking this trade. quite see the. Let me just make it. There we go. So we need volume to kick in if we're going to drive momentum back to the bullish side on dynamic TP. It needs to carry on. Too much bearishness will pull this back under, which is what we don't want to see. So when we come up, if we come up to this area and we start sort of taking this highs, we can look to take risk off. We can reduce risk as well, so we can half our risk, which is one of the reasons why I took the low. Is that soon I'll be reducing my risk to here because I don't want to see price go below that level anyway, right? So I'm halving my risk on the trade soon. All right, we are now in segment 8. Half past. Oh no, one more candle. Last minute. And this is where we want to see price deliver. Here we go. Nice push up. Don't close down as a wick. Let's go. Oh. Okay. We don't want to see this cross. So this is all about trade management now. Yeah. So I think we're going to... So I will take us out here now. So we came to break even now because it's not delivering how I would want it to go. So if price taps back up, I'll be getting out. And it might just aggressively. There we go.
Big wick rejection.
Yeah. We've got our hourly low, which is what we're holding on to. But I think it's just going to go now anyway. We haven't tested that area, so I think we're going to come back to that area, and then the next hour, potentially then we'll look for that new highs. And this is inducement for the next hour. And then you're framing the trade out of here. In the next hour. But we've seen these before. We've seen these levels hoe before. There's a reason why the data's there, right? Rejection out of this. So we're now rejecting from this resistance. Could close the trade out now, save some of the risk, but we're up. So I'll just take the loss on 1R if we lose, or I'll take the BE. Want to see this close inside of here. Around there would be perfect. So bullish candle. If we get to around here, I'll just take the small, close out a small loss. Let's see. See how strong this candle is. Is it just going to be a messy one and it's going to run for this high now? I think I'll just still take the break even. No. So I would take that trade now out at here. So it might come back up in BE, but I'll take that short loss, which is 0.25 of my risk. I've got no problem cutting trade short there. Just corrective. So I think the next lineup will be this being liquidity, which is our inducement. We broke out and never mitigated this area again. So we come down, mitigate this area, and then we look for a new high, which would be the target. So that would be the next hour, the next 4-hour candle. We'd be looking for that continuation. Let's see. There's no lazy boy because obviously we were red. We're bearish on dynamic TP. Dynamic TP was coming back up here. It needed volume to push it above, and when we saw this kick in, it's just not going to get that volume yet. Now there's still time. Obviously this is when the 4-hour finishes, so we can still see that push. And in an hour, we are in 37 minutes. So most of our bullish price action comes in the last 20 minutes of an hour. But when we lost that level, that's not indicative of a bullish move, just a choppy hour, in which that we might just, this is just the wick being created for the 4-hour possibly, and we can sit inside this zone. We've got a 4-hour wick and then potentially the beginning we can see that continuation later on. And you can see here there was no risk management on these, right? It just went straight on to target. As where here we needed to be more managerial. So that'll put us on 2 wins, 1 loss. And our wins were 1.6 and 3.35. We'll just say 5R. So our total gain we were talking about risking $250 per trade. It's over $1,000. E 1,200 is it? Something like that. Can't be able to get the calculator out. So 1,200 today. Hey, Plus Ultra. How are you? I got lost in the risk management. Wasn't looking at chat. Apologies. So you can see how we could have waited for BE, right? But we're at 0.25. It's not going in our right direction. It's okay to just cut that loss, right? Came all the way close to our hourly low. We still expect this to be our low, right? However, we just took it. Now, if you're holding on for the BE, that's fine. We have now crossed again on the MACD on the lower time frames, meaning that we can expect some more pullback. We are still in our sequence 8, so there's still a 36% probability of us putting in a new high for the 4 hour. We're just running out of time. And we didn't want to wanted to see that push from here, not the correction. So this is our second highest probability high for the 4 hour at 24%. So it's just a bit messy. It was the right decision to use this low though for the hour as our stop and not this low, as that had safer probabilities, and that played out. So what we might end up is an inside bar, which will be interesting. So we'll see this segment out, and then we'll end the stream for this morning. Trade in London. Let's have a quick check on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, we're waiting for that new 4 hour candle. We've set an alert on for NASDAQ as well to see its transition bullish. Higher time frames bullish, right on the 1 hour. So we want to see that transition. The 4 hour is a bear. We're expecting a bearish 4 hour candle. This is our open for the 4 hour. So we're expecting price to close below. So we'll see how we want to see this 4 hour end basically. CL, we were talking about CL being, this is our wick for the 4 hour, right? So right now we've got this nice doji this nice tail bar, right? Big push down, Now we're closing bullish. We come above the zero line here on CL, which gives us more likely to push up. And if you look at the difference between CL and NQ, we're still waiting for NQ to do that. Came up here, corrective. So again, yeah, we're just waiting for this. Why we're looking for a new 4 hour. We've got the 93% probability of this high going on NQ and more highs. So I think this new 4 hour with target above could be good. And with gold, we're bullish anyway, right? Transitioned earlier. We transitioned here in this hour. We started to transition at the beginning. Got that nice push. We'll have a bit of messing around potentially, bit of corrective, and then we can continue on up. We took the high here, so structurally a nice high taken. So if you left it for BE, you'd have been taken out of break even. I used to hang for BE forever. Now, if I get close and I see any sort of weakness like this, I'll just take the small loss. I'd rather take that. It's more annoying than when you hold and it just misses BE and then goes to your stop loss.
Yeah.
So let's just look at this hour, right? This is the open for the hour, which we are holding below. So we've got mixed signals for this hour. We've taken the high of the early segment, meaning it's more likely to be a bullish hour, which is why our stop was below here. However, we're failing to come above the open. And we are closing below. So this is our open here for the hour. You see that weakness? Here when we flipped, this is why we took that trade. We wanted to see momentum kick in and for us to take it up. When it failed, that's why we then used our risk management to get out. Stop was in a great place, statistically being our low. However, if we are going to go bullish, we are bullish on the 2 hour. So we were looking at the 2 hour here, which started here. So this is our 2 hour candle. It's very bullish, right? So you can see we have a 70% probability of closing bullish. So this is our 2 hour open here. So we're way above the open. And then we put in our high very early on. Now, statistically, it's more likely that this will get taken and our 2 hour high will finish here. So we had lots of confluences lining up for us to take this high. 4 hour finish, 2 hour finish. But with dynamic TP going red, you can just see we are still looking very bullish, that we're holding this level. It's just whether it happens later on. And we still haven't come and tested this level either yet. So I just think maybe the next 4 hour comes up, we get a retest, break above, and then we start going bullish. But we'll see. Either way, we're not in this trade anymore. And we'd want to see price come above, hold, retest, tap again if we wanted to get in. This is a mess. This is not clean, right? This is clean. This is not. Inducement of corrective price action. So it's the 4 hour wick basically getting created. This is our current 4 hour high. So it's not, if we're going to have a bullish 4 hour, we're not going to potentially come all the way back down to where the 4 hours started. More likely we'll have a close in, the top sort of third of a bullish candle. This is looking nice though, and then we're coming back above the 0 line. Let's look at the volume on here now. So we've got quite a way to go to get back to that 0 line, and that's where when you saw this price here, look. See the momentum pushing back, which is why there we needed to see that flip. Otherwise we were going to carry on bearish. So we're not even close yet to where we were there, and it's less momentum. We need to see that real push if we're going to get that. Doesn't mean we can't get manipulation, right? If it is going to go bearish and flip bearish, we could get a manipulation of the highs, wick above, close, and the next 4 hour could go bearish. But from a continuation point of view of a trend, it is holding nicely, right? For a continuation, if you think about how these have held, this is a good example, right? So bullish pull up, then we go correction. It's on the lower time frame, but you can see how we've come down, and then we're holding consolidation, right? Big bullish run up, holding consolidation for a continuation potentially on the higher time frame. So bottom out. Do 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 do. So these are 4 hour segments. We're using the 4 hour broken into 8 segments. This is showing us 30-minute segments. And then we've looked at 61 bullish candles making up 10 days. So 10 days of bullish candles. And what's that shown us is statistically we have a 24% probability of a bullish candle high being in segment 6, which is where this one is. And there's a 36% probability that the high will be in segment 8, which is this area here, which you can see I've marked out, segment 8. So it's definitely feasible that this is our 4 hour high. We were just looking for that reason for price to come and take it. Dynamic TP on the higher time frame changed. That's not ideal. You can see how dynamic TP was in line for both these trades. No drawdown, straight in. TP's hit. Which is why we cut that short. This is where our original stop was, below the hourly hello. And then we were looking for price to come back to take us out of BE. With these rejections, I just cut it short at a loss at 0.25R. We've got 9 minutes. So if we're going to do it, it needs to run now. I don't even know if you can hear it on stream. You never can hear the music.
Well,
no, you can't, no.
I think some of it you can. Yeah, it's definitely there.
Here we go. So in the hour, we use 6 segments. So in the hour, we are last 10 minutes. Good probability for this high to go. Maybe we'll just come up and reject here. Give us our wick. Do, 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 do. Hope you enjoyed the stream today. Anyway, had some cracking trades. It's been a good morning. We spent a bit of time looking at NQ. Quickly got to the point where it was like, we want to see what we want to see, right? We've had the move down. We want to see it go bullish. And we need to wait for the next 4 hours for that to happen. Same thing on CL. Went to gold. around here and saw this beautiful bullish price action. We saw dynamic trend AI changing. We had loads of probabilities, and here you can see where we were above. We got a nice confirmation that we were going to carry on longer, and this is where we were looking for price to potentially, where it might reject. We weren't sure we were going to take the previous 4-hour high, which is why we took it to there. And then when we did do that here, we could see a nice little additional trade. Didn't want to quite take it to the highs, so we just took it to an hourly high. Could have trailed with the EMA, with the moving average, right? Same thing here. Could have trailed. We'd have got taken out at a very similar level. Here would have got a little bit more. But even then, if I was going to do that and I was up, I'd be taking it at this level anyway. I just zoomed in, Peter. It's just zooming in. As you can see, the tiny on there. I just zoom right in. And so like the MACD is, I would say, kind of like I'm my main experience with dynamic TP and using it, which is why we have dynamic TP. I've traded it for close to 5 years, maybe 4 years, and we'll do some masterclasses on it, how we use it. Obviously, from a basic point of view, we've introduced it with dynamic TP, right? Showing people how powerful that move across is, which is exactly what we traded here. Everything that's in the training course, right? Coming above. So we know, and this is a specific setting to where we get that momentum, right? So all these are small momentum, and this is within the hourly and the higher time frame where we get that stronger move, right? When this one comes above. So we were looking for this when it crossed. The lower time frame came above, giving us indication that this might now go bullish. We saw that correction. We had the hourly all give us signs being a bullish hour. And then when this then failed to come below and we got that bullish cross, we were able to take that entry and expect our high in the last part of the hour, right? With dynamic TP crossing the 0 line. And we know we get that nice push, right? Same thing here. We come below the 0 line. Dynamic TP is getting close. And correct and down. Easy. So momentum's now starting to come back to the bullish side, like we said. I still think we've got a way to go, right? So it's going to be a next hour. If we're looking to take that trade and take those highs, you want to see the new hour start. Same thing again. And then we'll look to take it. This is typical corrective price action. But nice bullish corrective price action. Quick wrap up. So NQ. Let's have a look at the 4 hour, right? Okay. 4 hour bearish. 4 hour bearish. We've transitioned bearish and we're below the zero line. So right now, NQ bearish. We do have Asia high, which has a 93% probability of price going today, as well as the previous high's internal high. This one, that's the previous high. So we've got these two levels for today for NQ, but really, if we can see NQ transition bullish, we'll get a payday, which is why I've set an alert on it. So we get a payday transition, and we could get a nice, beautiful push on NQ. Till then, we're bearish. Right now, we're getting nothing to give us an opportunity to go long, right? We're still closing bearish.
They could be taken by half a tweet, though.
Oh, shit, yeah, sorry.
They could be taken by a tweet.
We've got big news day today, haven't we? And then CL was a similar thing, right? However, CL came back above the zero line. So more likely for CL to close this 4-hour bullish, giving us a nice wick. Which will be a bullish pin bar, right? On the 4-hour. There's our 4-hour wick. Look at that. So this would be our level for CL. Price to close above. So if we're going to go long on CL, we want to see this high go, giving us more bullish action. See this correction that we're having now. We'd want to see that as a correction. Flip back bullish, dynamic TP go, give us all those signals, and then we've got targets above. But not until all those things align. So gold's now finished. So we've taken the high of the previous hour, but we've done it in a wick on the first candle. We did close above that previous level, that's nice, on the 4-hour. Will it just give us a push back into here? Or dynamic TP could be flipping. Let's get rid of this stuff. So we've got a bullish hour. Bullish 4-hour. Bullish 2-hour. I think this would be a nice, again, this area of support, right, as being the 4-hour wick. If it could sit inside that level. We'll see. So once the 4-hour takes this high, that'll be the previous 4-hour high, giving us more statistical probability of the 4-hour. Dynamic TP has failed to close bullish. 4 hours now flipping as well. That's fine. It's only 3 minutes into a 4-hour candle. We're waiting for our hourly to align, right? But we've had that nice strong move. Price can be a little bit more messy. We didn't mitigate this area here. So here is an area where price could come back into, this being our inducement, our liquidity, and then you could look for price to come back and target this target. Patience, 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 patience. We got a Vib on the... Why have I got 3? Oh, 1 hour Vib. We have got a fair value gap down here. If you remember, this was the inverse fair value gap that we flipped. Still feel like this is a good area for us to hold on the 4 hour. Flip bullish, tap back in. So here would be your entry level. Let's change the colors now. For the hourly. So this is where you're looking to flip, right? So if we're going to go bullish on this hour, you'd want to see this flip, dynamic TP. So you can see here now we're correcting above, right? So this flip, rejecting here, tap back in, target new highs. Now what I'd be looking for. Not sitting here all day live. We can't do that. We've already done 4 hours, 3 hours. So I'm going to call it a day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. See you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Remember, flip. See this change now. Flip, bullish, dynamic TP change, tap, target. Till that happens, we're not doing anything. All right, everybody.